Everybody, welcome back to the Calibrate Tools and DIY channel. Glad everybody's okay. Hopefully you are. Just got back into town and I'm back at it. Okay, guys. So let's jump right into it. Okay, because a lot of my viewers they come on the replay anyway. So um, let's go ahead and dive into the topic here. I was doing some snooping on the trying to find out what's happening with the economy, trying to find out a good topic to talk about tonight. And I think I came up with one. Now it's not going to be a long one, but it was. I had a very interesting revelation when I did my research on this. So the title of this is Home Depot and Lowe's are disappointed this didn't happen. Now we're going to get into what this is in a minute, but I want to give a little context, a little background. Has to do with the economy and what's going on. Everybody knows, at least most people know, the economy's in a slump. The stock market is taking a dive. A lot of things are taking a dive. Crypto, uh, you know, just all kinds of things. Inflation's up. A lot of people aren't spending money like they used to. So, of course, these companies, like the ones mentioned in the title, they're feeling it, right? But let's give a little context as to why the economy is kind of shaken up right now. And, this is a normal thing, guys. When you look at the markets, it's like this, all right? It's never like that. So if you're thinking you're going to get into the market and it's going to be like that all the time, you got another thing coming. Okay, so why is it like this right now? It says stock market, is experiencing this volatility because of a few things. I've talked about one of these things a lot on the channel, on the live at least, and that's AI. Now, what does AI have to do with it? Well, a lot of people are concerned about AI and whether it's a bubble or not. They're looking at it as maybe a possible repeat of the dot-com bubble back in the 2000s, right? So what it is that a lot of investors, big time investors, and of course, you have all levels of investors into AI, they're looking at whether they're valuing these AI companies and these AI stocks too much, right? And that they're not going to basically give them the ROI that, on these valuations. In other words, they're being valued too much. And that's a recipe for a bubble. Okay. So, it's going to take some time to see whether all of that plays out. But that's one concern. Next thing that's going on in the economy or the broader economy is what's happening with the Federal Reserve, right? Interest rates, right? Interest rates are, they don't know what the Federal Reserve are going to do as far as the interest rates go. And, interest rates are still high, right? So that's not a good thing for the economy because if money is more expensive, people are not going to borrow money, right? They're not going to borrow money to inject into their businesses or whatever they're doing or just into the broader economy. So that's not a good thing for the economy. So it's up to the feds to decide what they're going to do to stabilize the interest rates, because if they lower the interest rates, that's a good thing, okay? Because more people are going to put their hands in the pot, and it's a good way to stimulate the economy. All right, so that's two: AI, the Federal Reserve, and I'm getting to the Home Depot and Lowe's thing in a minute. I'm just trying to give you guys some context first, okay? What else? Okay, so there's inflation. We all know that's not a good thing either. It's up there as well, and that's a lot of people are holding on to their wallets. Segue into Home Depot and Lowe's and any hardware store, really any business, but this channel is mainly about home improvement. That's why I'm focusing on home improvement, Home Depot and companies like that. Okay, so if you're holding on to your wallet because inflation is rampant, right? Interest rates are up; they're not stabilized. These companies are going to suffer. But that's not the only reason that I thought that Home Depot and Lowe's and companies in the home improvement space would be disappointed or pissed. Okay, for lack of a better word. Let's dive into this. Next up, it says Home Depot blames the weather for disappointing sales, but that's not the only issue. And I looked at I read the article, and some of the things I just mentioned, people are not spending money like they used to. That's part of the reason, other than weather. But when you read that title, you say, okay, Home Depot blames the weather. In other words, okay, is it raining a lot? Is it bad weather? A lot of people not coming out to shop. Maybe that's the reason why it's their sales are down. But guess what? That's not the reason. It's due to lack of storms. Can you believe that? Lack of storms. And I never thought about that, but it made the ultimate sense to me. I was like, okay, these companies, like these home improvement companies, depend on storms to happen, right? All right. So if storms aren't happening, then there's not going to be people coming in there to get supplies and stuff for repairs and all that, whatever they got to do. So that's why they're disappointed, because of lack of storms. And then I got to thinking, I was like, man, you think of all these hurricanes and these severe storms that blow through every now and then and destroy towns, floods or whatever, natural disasters. Their bottom line, right? When they look at their profit and loss statement or their balance sheet, I wonder what percentage of that is dependent upon natural disasters or storms or severe weather. And I was like, okay, wow, this is very interesting, because it's, when you really look at it, it's their bottom line depends on, and it's not their fault, obviously, right? But when you really look at it, it's like, okay, people's lives, homes and whatever are being destroyed, right? And their bottom line depends on this, which is kind of crazy to think about, right? So I was like, that's very, very interesting. So I just kind of dove into that. And it says, yes, Home Depot's sales and profits are affected by storms, which can cause both positive and negative impacts. A severe storm can boost sales through immediate pre-storm preparation. That's buying sandbags, plywood, other supplies. Longer-term rebuilding efforts, generators, roofing, chainsaws. A lack of storms, in other words, can lead to lower than expected sales, right? So that's the positive and the negative side of it. So they're sitting there saying, dang, not enough storms, not enough homes destroyed, not enough people displaced. I guess when FEMA is doing its thing and it's time to kick into action, that's a good sign for Home Depot, right? Or Lowe's or any of these companies. That's an actual good sign for them. And the flip side to that is imagine storm ridden areas like Oklahoma, where there are a lot of tornadoes and stuff like that. I would assume that. I wonder how the prices are in those areas in Home Depots. I would assume that obviously when a tornado runs through the place, I mean, their sales just shoot through the roof. I would imagine. So yeah, it was just very interesting to have that little revelation there, to think about how that works. And once again, I'm not blaming Home Depot for that. Yeah, but man, you can see the bean counters. It's like, okay, you didn't make the profits were down this quarter. Dang, we didn't have enough storms. And if you really want to be conspiracy theorists, you'll say, well, maybe there's some kind of machine out there to produce storms, like zap, like whatever into the air to produce storms. So, I'm just kind of going off on a tangent there, but yeah, very interesting thought. Tell me what you think about that. Anyway, guys, that's it for tonight. Hope everybody's doing well, and check out the next video. And by the way, guys, check out the previous video I did as well, and support the channel. Appreciate every one of you. Have a good one. See you in the next one.